Hi, I'm Mike Regan, and it's my pleasure to welcome to Transact Carl Wadenstam. Carl's a friend of mine through the Manufacturing Excellence Network, and one of the great things I love about YPO is the fact that over the past 20 years I've gotten to meet some really interesting people who are passionate in a lot of different areas, passionate about their business, passionate about their families, and passionate about making a difference. And Carl, you are at the top of that list. Carl has been the chairman of the YPO Manufacturing Excellence Network for the past couple of years.
That's right.
He's also been responsible for conducting the YPO Manufacturing Excellence event, signature event. This year we went out to Boston and had a phenomenal time, and last year we were up in Kohler, Wisconsin. And so behind that, in addition to that rather, Carl also runs VBCO, which has industrial vibrators and does a great thing.
Not the sexy brand.
Not the sexy brand,
No.
but what I'd like to do, Carl, maybe you could tell us a little bit about VBCO and some of the things you're passionate about.
Well, Mike, thank you very much for having me. And passion is about manufacturing, making things. You guys are passionate about moving things, because if we make things and we can't move them, we're up the creek without a paddle.
Right.
I'm passionate about making things with high velocity and making them here in the U.S. The onshoring. And onshoring isn't just about the United States. Onshoring could be in UK. It could be in India. But it's where your home is. And I'm passionate about sharing the lessons that we've learned in manufacturing, because the competition, as you know, they're really just time zones now. Before it was long distances of travel to get stuff. Now, if you don't figure somebody else is another time zone, you're kind of out of luck. So that speed, you got to build to that speed, right?
Right. Well, a couple years ago, you turned me on to some of the lean principles that you've used to transform VBCO. You also have a radio program called the Lean Nation.
Lean Nation, right.
And if you haven't seen that, I encourage you to go to YouTube. You'll see Carl in his General Patton helmet there with his cigar, ever-present cigar, and his very subdued and sedate shirts. But help us understand the transformation that occurred at VBCO through the application of lean principles in your organization.
Well, we use lean, Mike, as a strategy, and it's a strategy to win, because if we don't have some type of operational guidelines and some kind of war cry, I call it the war cry, you've heard me say that before, that this is Mel Gibson, Braveheart, and you have all your troops, all your people behind you. Are they ready to charge when you say charge, or are they going to stand there and you run off alone? So lean kind of gives us that framework for how do we operate as an organization, how do we treat our customers, because the core of any organization is without the customers we have nothing. And if we can speed up the velocity and listen to what the customers want and deliver what they want, and the time that they want, and the quality that they want, and the price that they want so many different things. And that's that attention. And lean and Toyota Production Systems are something that we've adopted to help us do that.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit, for those of you that may not be familiar with Carl in VBCO, give us a little bit of background. How old is VBCO as a company?
1962 we were founded, second generation. We make 1,300 different products. We have 6,800 component pieces. We have 100 and some odd people down at our main manufacturing facility in Rhode Island. We have offices in Atlanta and offices in the Mid-Atlantic, Canada, licensees in the UK and Australia and hereabout. But the 1,300 products, 62 patents, over 190,000 people globally out of our headquarters. And people want things from scratch, 24 to 48 hours.
Just tell them no. You can't have it.
You tell them no. You tell them no. You know that, Mike. You're not in the business to say no.
No,
you're the first
correct.
guy that says yes, and you say, how much higher do you want me to jump?
Okay.
So no isn't in our vocabulary.
So if I don't mind, if you don't mind, talk to me about specifically the lean journey at VBCO.
The lean journey started with a crying customer.
With the how many years ago?
This was 2000. Grown man crying on the phone, a distributor. Not much unlike any other organization in the U.S. We have people that go out and represent us.
Okay.
They represent us. Their word is their integrity. They can't control what goes on in the back office and make decisions, but what they can do is put the best foot forward. Sold them a job for the Sunshine Bridge down in Tampa, St. Pete. Said we're going to deliver on a certain date. Date came, didn't deliver. Gave another date. That date came, didn't deliver. Finally, now it's a Friday. They need our vibrators to pour concrete. It's an essential piece of $1 billion job, $20,000 worth of vibrators. That's the bar bill for the guys, the iron workers and everybody. And the poor guy's on the phone crying, asking one of our CSRs, where's our order? You've promised me. And he was crying in fear for his own job, but not only his own job, Mike, because their organization had been awarded $20 million for that $1 billion project. And it's the beginning of the project. You can't deliver a $20,000 order. You start getting question marks as the prime contractor. So at that point, they called me up. I was home sick in bed, came into work, looked at what was going on with this order. And it wasn't that people weren't trying really hard. It's that we didn't have a vehicle to communicate and tie the threads of our organization together. So at that point, we did the whole order. We got it out. It's the first time in Rhode Island history we held the UPS plane. And you guys at Transact know, holding a UPS plane, unless you lay on the tarmac, is not going to happen.
Kind of like the take man at Tiananmen Square.
Exactly. You've got to lay down on the thing. So our rep, we're in Rhode Island, so it's a little bit easier to hold a plane in Rhode Island. Chicago, you're not holding a plane, friend. They're running over you. But when they held the plane, and that Monday morning when I came to work, as I drove into work, I really had to think, was this the kind of organization that I wanted to be the leader of? Could I do this long term, and could we even survive?
Okay.
Right? And how do I get everybody rallied around this? It wasn't that we had bad people, we had bad processes, and no one really understood how to get all those processes and deliver, and it was frustrating. So that was our defining moment when I had to learn. I had to relearn everything.
So when did you get really serious and you brought in a lean master and your
First, we didn't know anything about lean.
Okay.
First, we didn't know anything about lean, and this is the YPO piece that is so profound, because you talked about YPO, the great people that we meet all around the globe, is that I didn't know about lean until 2004, 2005. But what I did know about was the right brain, the creative side, the forum side, the non-judgmental, non-confrontational, speak from the heart, speak from I, learn, the YPO mantra, better leaders through learning and understanding and idea exchange. And I said, I got to get my people to learn. We got to learn how to do this. So I worked on the right brain and the social side of our organization.
Okay. So then you got serious in 2004, 2005.
I found out there were tools, finally.
Okay,
because it wasn't just a method to madness. But these tools are so critical, Mike, that if you don't have the team together with you, a lot of people dive into the tools and say, hey, here's the playbook. Let's do 1, 2, 3, and 4. No, you got to have the people. You got to have the right-hand brain side together. You got to have the culture. And I developed a culture for 4 to 5 years. And that's what really platformed us off.
Okay, so that brings you up to 2008, 2009. I don't mean to kind of stick by a chronological timeline. So you bring this into the organization. Speak to the member out there who has the customer that's crying on the phone, that's driving to work on Monday saying, we can be better, we can do better.
Yep.
Speak to that member and help them understand the challenges that you overcame in introducing lean into the organization. And then fast forward me to 5-6 years later here we are in 2014. Fast forward to me the outcome, what it's all meant.
So the most successful organizations that I've seen in traveling the country and learning about lean, both YPO and non-YPO, is when the president truly believes that this type of a system and this type of philosophy, this type of strategy is what's going to get them to the finish line, and is what's going to make their organization withstand generations to come, withstand competition, be able to handle, the stress and all the things that come on us. The president has to believe. The president has to learn just like everybody else in the organization. The president has to be humble enough to say, I don't know, and go and ask the questions, right? And when you start doing that, start learning, start going out and visiting other YPOers, because there's so many. I went to visit so many YPOers, and I struggled. We had a lot of failures, starts and stops and starts and stops. But I always found a YPOer to talk to say, Carl, it's part of learning. It's like the Karate Kid, wax on, wax off. Well, what am I doing here? To sing the blues, Mike, you got to have some pain. To do lean and to be an unbelievable world-class organization, you got to feel a little bit of pain so you know when you're on that right path.
Let me interrupt you just for a moment. Were there times where the failures were such that you just said, maybe we ought to just scrap it? And
Yeah, there were times where it really tested my personal faith, because this is a belief, this is a lifestyle, this is something that you really have to empower everybody with and live every single day. But at those times, those were the times when I reached out and found the YPO, or serendipitously found the right people at the right time that entered, that replied to one of our network board things. You know, the network posts that we have? Just serendipitously, like Jim Lancaster over at Landtech down in Kentucky. You know, same kind of thing. So they gave me the pep talk. They gave me the words of advice that we've been there, it's been hard, you're going to see your way through it, now really dig in.
so today, here we are in 2014. Where are you at in the lean journey, and how is it affecting your company?
We're still learning every day.
You mean you haven't figured it all out
No,
yet?
no.
What, are you a slow learner?
I come from the Mike Regan school. Mike Regan, you. No. Mike, you know, you've been around long enough. We're in your office. You're a second generation YPOer. Think about that. The most profound thing, 1956.
Yeah. Different businesses, but...
Different businesses, but 1956. So even your dad was trying to learn something and get with peer people and say, somewhere he said, I don't know it all, I want to listen to some people. But then you get to mentor as well, Mike. This is the beauty of it all. People come and look to you and to I for help, and that's what I'm going on now with, you know, our 2014, is that people are coming to ask us questions, and I'm trying to give best practices, best resources, and also learning from them. So I'm spending a lot more time going out and learning from my vendors. Because you know, you're in supply chain. My vendors now are falling down. Falling down. So I really have to go out and make sure that they understand what our charge is. That's where our flow is today.
So let me just fast forward a little bit. Let's speak to the YPOer out there that is not yet a member of the Manufacturing Excellence Network. I don't know who you are. I don't know how you could possibly not want to be part of this network. But is the reason you're so passionate about the network is because of the ability to reach out and interact with others and learn from them? Help us understand why every member, speak to that camera, and help that member understand why they need to be part of the Manufacturing Excellence Network.
Yeah, and really the Manufacturing Excellence Network in YPO is more than just manufacturing. It's for anybody that has customers, and I think that 99.9% of all YPOers have customers. It's about process. It's about getting a predictable, stable outcome for your customers. And we struggled with this at manufacturing.
Predictable, stable outcome.
Customer-based outcome.
Customer-based. So no more crying customers.
No more crying customers.
Okay.
We can't afford it, Mike.
Okay, so go on. I interrupted you there.
That's fine. So, you know, in YPO, it's my personal goal, along with the whole executive committee, I think, to really share the passion that we all have for making things, doing things, but more so share the process, that everybody can learn from this process. And the whole global YPO can really benefit from the Manufacturing Excellence Network and bring something to their people and bring some clarity to themselves and their C-suite people and their ops people, you know?
Well, just as a way of reference, at the signature event, which Carl ran at the end of April, and I referenced earlier, we did a lot of plant tours, and this is all, you know, management by walking around. I call it learning by walking around. Yeah. We went to Savage Arms, and Al and his team did a world-class job of helping us understand how lean has transformed their business. The people at Gemstone and Johnny did a fabulous job of helping understand how basically lean saved the company.
Yes.
They were in a market where there was tremendous upheaval, a very intensely competitive market.
Market's just gone.
Gone in 2009, 2010.
Right.
How lean saved their company. We went to New Balance.
Yeah.
And learned, you know, one of the only company manufacturing athletic footwear still in the United States.
Yep.
And learned a tremendous amount. At the end of the day, Carl, for that, like I said, I want you to speak to that member. Maybe you are a member of the network and you haven't been involved in our global conference calls, or you're not part of a peer-to-peer quarterly forum structure. Help them understand how they can get involved and engaged.
Yeah, you know, the first step is just do it, right? Is just do it. When you see a post come out for a global conference call, when you see a post come out for one of the Gemba walks, when you see a post for a member asking something, it's just answer. Maybe even pick up the phone and share, because the warmth and the knowledge exchange and the depth and breadth that these people have is unbelievable. You and I talk about it all the time. You know, you agonize to go and do this stuff. It comes at the worst time. The conference call's the most rushed thing. But boy, every time I walk away, I reflect. I get one big thing. That one big thing may be the key to unlock the next big thing and to unlock all that stress. It's one big thing every single time. And the more you do this, it becomes a multiplier effect. It becomes a multiplier effect.
Well, and one of the reasons I'm so passionate about it is because over the years, whether it's through the Manufacturing Excellence Network, a group that Tom Kane ran, the Supply Chain Network. We had an event down at Walmart where the CEO of Walmart and his subordinates there, the guys that run the Americas and international groups, 2.5 days with those executives talking about the Walmart efficiencies, the Walmart ways. And it was really a fantastic experience. FedEx opened up their doors for a couple of days to help us understand how FedEx views the supply chain and some world-class resources. That's the real value of participation in the network for me.
And the participation is you're with a bunch of other YPOers.
Right.
So it's not just what's being presented at the moment. The side talk as you're walking from area to area, and the sharing and the exchange of business cards and come and visit. This is how we're approaching. Oh, wow, Mike, that was an unbelievable. What did you think of that thing? You know, it's the reinforcement. So that's the real power of it.
Perfect. Perfect. Well, you know, one final thought then. How can they get signed up on the network? Tell me.
Well, they go to YPO.org. And then if on the top toolbar menu, you'll see in YPO.org, you'll see networks there. And you should really click on the networks. There's a whole host of them, but the Manufacturing Excellence Network is really what John Hickok back in...
Ray Hickok.
Oh, sorry, Ray. Ray Hickok. John Hickok.
And Alfred Hitchcock. No, anyway, but we digress.
Ray Hickok. I mean, that's really where YPO started. It started out of a manufacturing base, a young guy having to run a family business.
Out of Buffalo.
Yeah, running a family business and really not having his finger on the pulse and being humble enough to say, I need some help. I need some answers.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, it is. If you have any comments or questions, or you want to learn more about the Manufacturing Excellence Network, you can contact either one of us. Sherry is our new incoming head, and Sherry would be happy to talk to you. So get involved, get engaged. It'll be one of the best decisions you can make to take advantage of this wonderful thing we call YPO and WPO.
And come to our Manufacturing Excellence Network signature event next year, and it will blow your socks off, so tie your shoes.
Great. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Michael.